Welcome back to Good Day Atlanta. African Americans make up 13% of the U.S. population, but only 4% of all physicians are black. A study done last year found that being able to see a male doctor of the same race made a critical difference for black men. The Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin joins us now to talk about this. Beth, good morning. Why did they look at this group in particular?
Good morning, Ron. Well, they looked at African American men because black men tend to have worse health outcomes than any other group in the country. So they get less preventive care. They're diagnosed later than white men. So we sat down with a big advocate for diversity in medicine, Dr. Sullivan, to talk about what these researchers found and what it means. Does your doctor's race matter? Research shows it may, especially when it comes to black men, who are less likely to get preventive care and die on average 4.5 years earlier than white men. And Dr. Sullivan, the former U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services and President Emeritus of Morehouse School of Medicine, says while we should be comfortable seeing a physician of any race,
the reality today is people often feel more comfortable if the physician is like them. We see that among women. Many women prefer a female physician. But in the same way, if it's someone who is African American, they might feel more comfortable with an African American physician. If they're Latino, they might feel more comfortable there.
And the science seems to back this up. A 2018 study found that black men who were seen by black male doctors were more likely to agree to preventive health screenings than those who saw non-black doctors. They were 10% more likely to get a flu shot, 20% more likely to get screened for diabetes, and 26% more likely to agree to a cholesterol check than men who saw a non-black physician. And these men were also more likely to bring up private issues and ask for advice when they were seeing a doctor of the same race.
The reason for that is that they understand the culture, the language, the customs, etc.
And Dr. Sullivan believes the physician-patient relationship relies on trust and communication.
If you trust the physician and feel that he or she is not going to embarrass you when you give them sensitive private information, then you'll be more forthcoming. That helps the physician arrive at the correct diagnosis. So that's why diversity is so important in our physician workforce, because we're a diverse population.
And Dr. Sullivan has created the nonprofit Sullivan Alliance to push for more diversity in health care. He says increasing the number of black and minority doctors will require a long-term effort. And he says we need to lower the cost of higher education, especially medical school, and do more to support our public schools, especially those in our cities. And Dr. Sullivan says we need to create more opportunities and more support systems for bright minority students who are interested in science and technology. So it really has to be tackled, I think, from all fronts to help make medicine more inclusive and more diverse.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now, Metro Atlanta has a much higher number of black doctors than the rest of the country. What about rural Georgia?
It's interesting if you compare. So in the 5 larger Metro Atlanta counties, it averages about 17% African American doctors. That is much better than the national average. You mentioned 4%. That's much higher. However, if you go out to the rural counties, that percentage drops much lower. In 50 of the 159 Georgia counties, there is no black doctor. So you have to go out of county if you want to see a black doctor. So
yeah, some great information there. There's something I never thought about, but it makes a ton of sense. So thank you for all that information, Beth.